but I was very reactive to what was happening politically in the country and the repercussions of which was on my daughter. I wrote it for Chiyaan Vikram, and Chiyaan Vikram's real name is Kennedy. I needed a woman who was sexualized by men. Sunny, I think herself has all her life struggled with that.
Let's hear a round of applause for Kennedy. You know, y'all don't realize you guys are very privileged right now because this film is not available for the public to watch quite yet. Maybe soon, but you're one of
Yeah, we're still fighting to release it in India after 2 years.
So this I hinted at before we started talking. One night in I think 2022.
Yeah, she saw the long 3 hour, 20-minute cut.
So it was like Anurag Kashyap is saying that he wants to show a new film that he's made. So we turn up and Kashyap is famous for having mini screenings at his apartment in Bombay. And it was one of those mini screenings. And it just happened to be the surprise film that he had made guerrilla style underground. Nobody knows he's making this film.
Yeah, but I made more films and people don't know about my films. Still, I made them.
Till you decide to tell them about those films. When did Kennedy first come to you? When did you start writing it?
I was in denial for 2 years, but I was busy working. I went and did Sacred Games, I did Man Marziyan, I did Mukkabas, I did Love Stories, I did Sacred Games 2. I did Choked. I was non-stop was working, and suddenly there was COVID. And then I had my own demons to face. And that's also the time India was politically very volatile. There was lots of things happening. And I was kind of reactive person. I don't react now anymore. But I was very reactive to what was happening politically in the country and the repercussions of which was on my daughter, who was
Correct.
studying here in LA.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I was also writing my most ambitious film that I have been working for a long time, which was Maximum City. And I handwrite. So I don't type. I handwrite. And I wrote a 900-page script of Maximum City. So I wrote 900 pages over the thing, and somehow everybody was very scared, and that film got shelved. We went into pre-production, and suddenly I got news that they don't want to do Maximum City. So Ketu Mehta's book, and
Yeah.
I was very invested in it. It's a 3-part film, 9-hour film. It got shelved, and I was very angry. And that's also kind of coincided with my daughter moving out of the house. My daughter moved in with a boyfriend. So suddenly I had a very empty, massive house, all alone by myself, with lots of whiskey. And I started playing Tchaikovsky at full volume across the house, and I would walk around like a ghost in the house. And I was having my whiskey, and with Tchaikovsky, exactly the same Tchaikovsky that plays in the film. And I sat down and I just wrote it overnight.
Really, one night in
2020. One night. Because when I wrote this film, it is based on actual events that happened just a week before I wrote it. So everything that's in the film is kind of inspired from the events that happened just a week before.
Talk to me about casting the two most unusual people you would expect for these roles. And not that Rahul Bhatt is amazing. He is just so incredible in and as Kennedy. And Sunny Leone, like what a revelation, what a wonderful dramatic actor she is. She's incredible.
It's like because Sunny was actually the first choice.
She's so good.
Sunny was the first choice for simple reason. I needed a woman who was sexualized by men.
Yeah.
And without a single sex scene. and she was sexualized by men, and she was only seen as an object and objectified and used like that. And I didn't want to cast an actor to do things to be like that, because Sunny, I think herself has all her life struggled with that.
Hmm.
So for me, when I reached out to her, she actually got emotional. She said, River, she was really like, you really?
Hmm.
I said, yes, this is, I think you're my first choice. If you say no, I'll go to other actor. So, and she said yes.
There's only one reason why this film is actually called Kennedy. Tell us that story.
I wrote it for Chiyaan Vikram, and Chiyaan Vikram's real name is Kennedy. His actual name is Kennedy. So when I wrote the film for him, on the top of the file, it was called the Kennedy Project.
So if you go look at Chiyaan Vikram's Wikipedia page, it'll tell you that his name is actually Kennedy.
His name is actually Kennedy.
So this film was written for Vikram in mind.
It was written with Vikram in mind. It was called Kennedy Project. And then Kennedy stuck. Chia had changed his phone number. I sent him several messages, he never responded. So then Rahul, because Rahul Bhatt has worked with me, as also my friend. So you know what happens? You tend to take your friends for granted. I never saw him in the role. So one day he was sitting there and he was exercising and gymming, and he had his long hair and he was unshaven. And I saw him and I was like, you know, you look like the way I want this character to be. And Rahul told me, why am I always in second option? So he's always been my second option, but he's also always been there. He never questioned me, and he came on board. And then Chiyaan Vikram replied one day, because that's the next schedule of PS, Ponniyin Selvan. And I told Shobita, I said, Chiyaan never responded to me, so I'm going with somebody else.
I am also very curious about the music of the film. Of course, there's the operatic music, but there's also the live music that Amir Aziz has performed.
Amir Aziz, I called him, he stayed in my house. What happened was Boy Blank became more political. Amir found the music in him, and I got them a music producer. And this is the first time they ever did music and put it out there. Now Boy Blank is a famous rapper in Delhi, and Amir Aziz everybody knows in India.
Yes.
And we it took us 6 to 8 months to find music for the film, which was more poetry, which is more political. I told Amir that you have to forget the film, talk about things that's going around in the country, talk about things that we are going through. Forget the film. And he wrote his poetry. Like the title sequence is a song that he wrote about lynching. It's a love song about lynching. And I was like, I'm going to put this as a title song in the film. And he was initially very scared. Then he got braver and he started pouring it out. Because initially, he's a poet. He started pouring it out. And just came out of him. The songs that I've not used in the film, which are as powerful. But they both started pouring it out. Also, we've always stoned in the house. But the thing is, like, I was pushing them. And then finally, when the songs were composed, I shot it with them, which was actually end of shoot. So we finished the whole film. Then I shot it with them.
To paraphrase and to shorten her question, in films that are so complex and so layered and have so much going on, is there room for female characters to be nuanced, to be layered and complex themselves?
I did not understand what feminism meant. I felt like it's some kind of an activist badge. And somebody talked about Queen on a platform. And I was like, what is wrong with you? I said, neither the filmmaker, and filmmaker was a problematic person.
Certainly not a feminist, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Filmmaker was a problematic person, right? He was anything but feminist. He was a posturer. and everything else. I was like, you know what? I don't know why everything has to be seen through a lens. When I spoke about it, the real on ground feminist reached out to me for the first time in my life, on ground, not a single one being a celebrity. And they said, Anurag, you don't understand, but the way you represent women in your film, you might not understand the meaning of it, but you represent them so honestly, we don't have a problem with you. But do not degrade feminism by saying you're not one. You might not understand it.
Yeah.
You might not understand it, but and then I had meetings. Literally, I like till date I can say that my daughter calls out things in me which are like, Papa, you're just being such a bloody male and patriarchal bloody human being. And I'm like, what did I do? And they call me out. So it doesn't go out from you. I have grown up like this. Probably take forever, and probably there'll always be 1 inch of it left in me because we don't know till we don't get called out. So I know because Queen, which is considered the most feminist film India has ever made, was not made by a single feminist involved,
Except Anvita.
except Anvita. Except Anvita
Anvita
and a lot of
Dutt.
other people, Motwani. I think
Wonderful
a lot of
writer,
people.
Anvita Dutt, who
Yeah,
we love.
yeah. But a lot of even other people involved. But I'm saying that it we understood it after we made the film. So that's the fact. So that's I like the complexities. I'm not scared of complexities, and I make films more complex, relationships more complex because I don't like it easy. Because the more complex it is for me, then there's more to think about. Because somewhere our lives are like that. I don't like things simple.
Ladies and gentlemen, Anurag Kashyap, Talia. Thank you. My name is Sucharita, and thank you for being here tonight.